I have to switch on the microphone. Here we go. You were a little bit fast. So.
What? Let me give you a hand. Hello.
Hello.
Are there any questions?
I can ask questions. I always ask questions. So, you had a role in the latest movie of the Predator series, Predators. How did you get involved in the project?
The director was working on Machete, and he had asked me if I would like to do something on Predator, because in the trades they had a mean-looking guy like Danny Trejo. So I said, wait a minute, I'm Danny Trejo. So he gave me him and Robert got together and gave me a role in that. How's that?
So you now have a long career. I think you started back in '86 with Runaway Express.
1985 Runaway Train.
Runaway Train.
Derek Roberts.
So have you ever been out of work since that time?
No. Actually, no. I've been doing pretty good. I've been really blessed. I think I've done 192 movies under my belt right now.
So can you tell us how you became an actor? Sorry. Can you tell us how you became an actor? How did you get involved in your first project in Runaway Train?
I was actually a drug counselor, and one of the kids that I was working with asked me to come down and support it because there was a lot of drugs on that set. So I just went down and to hang out with him, and I ran into a friend of mine that I was in prison with, a guy named Eddie Bunker, who was a writer. And I used to box in prison, and he said they needed somebody to train one of the actors how to box. I asked him what it paid, and he said $320 a day. And I said, how bad do you want this guy beat up? And he said, no, you gotta be real careful because actors are very high strung and he might sock you. And I said, for $320, give him a stick. And I started training Eric Roberts how to box for the movie Runaway Train. The director saw me and hired me.
So how was it to finally get a major role in a motion picture in Machete, after done so many movies where you only have small parts to get the biggest part in a movie?
Well, there are no small parts. I mean, if you're into acting, then every role you do is a major role to you. And the only difference between being the leading man and the day player is that you're there every day. It's your movie. You're there all the time. There's a lot more to do, and you get to kiss Jessica Alba.
Hi. I just want to know if you know if there's going to be a sequel to Machete.
I asked Robert Rodriguez when he was going to write it, and he told me it's wrote. So he's already got the sequel wrote. He had Machete written, 10 years ago. I mean, we first discussed Machete when we were doing Desperado in Mexico, and he had the idea then. So he rewrote it. He wrote it in like 97, 98. It was already written. So he just kept on and kept on. Then when they needed the trailers for Grindhouse, he said, "Let's do this." So.
No? Do you have any other projects going on with Bottrop at the moment?
I'm doing a film called Tarantula. I'm doing another one called Havana Heat. I did Harold and Kumar. Harold and Kumar's Christmas. I did Fallout Las Vegas, a video game, and I did Fight Lights Out, another video game. And my son right now, Gilbert Trejo, he's producing a film called Skinny Dip that he told me he'd give me a role in. And then he said, but you have to audition. I said, shut up. So I got a role in a movie called Skinny Dip.
Hello. Lots of your characters are very skilled with knives. How does that come? Have you ever fought before with, I don't know, swords or even knives, machetes?
That's Robert Rodriguez. Robert Rodriguez happened to see a copy of my old parole plans when I got out of prison. And they said not to be in the vicinity of any firearms or sharp objects. So just as to the parole board, he always calls me like machete or navajas or razor charlie or machete. So we always named after sharp objects because I'm not supposed to be around her.
So I have a quick question. Yeah, I will ask it later.
I recently saw you in the episodes of Desperate Housewives, where you play a gardener slash criminal, and I wanted to know, are you sick of always playing the same stereotypical roles, the gardening Mexican who has a criminal past?
Well, you know, the first 5 years of my career, I never even had a name. I was always inmate number one. And everybody was always asking me, aren't you afraid of getting stereotyped? And I said, stereotyped as what? And they said, as a mean-looking Mexican with tattoos. I don't think that's stereotype. I am a mean-looking Mexican with tattoos.
So you became very successful as an actor over the years. You've been recognized by a lot of people. Do you think you have some kind of responsibility to the people because you have a criminal background and you managed to get out of this and be very successful as an actor? And do you speak to people? Do you do something to say it's possible to get out of it? To be successful, to be recognized?
Well, I think anybody that's in the public eye has a certain responsibility. I think the only people that don't want to be role models are people that are doing something wrong. And I kind of relish the fact that I do go to schools, and I go to juvenile halls, I go to institutions, and I talk about staying off of drugs and staying off of alcohol, especially to our younger people. So yeah, I think there is a certain responsibility that goes with, I guess, some sort of a celebrity, you know, because a lot of people kind of look, especially younger people, kind of look towards what you're doing. Any other questions?
Hi. Can you tell us anything about Heat? The movie set. Where were you there when they shot the Pacino De Niro scene, or anything else behind the scenes?
Heat was probably one of the most amazing movies I've done up to that time. I think Machete was like the biggest movie, you know, but Heat was just amazing. And just being around, you know, that quality of actor, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Val Kilmer. It was amazing just watching them guys work. And my son was on the set. I introduced my son, he was 9 years old at the time. And I introduced him to Robert De Niro. I said, Gilbert, this is Robert De Niro. Bob's my son. And Robert De Niro goes, hi, Gilbert. And my son goes, you totally means Must be talking to me. And I died. And Robert just started laughing, and I said, Gilbert, you didn't see that movie? He said, the Comedy Channel. Because everybody that imitates Robert De Niro does that. So they're pretty good friends.
Hello, speaking of Machete, casting Steven Seagal as a Mexican drug lord was certainly a rather unusual idea. So could you tell us how did it come about and how was it working with him?
I had worked with Steven Seagal. Everybody on that movie I worked with before, and so when Robert De Niro came aboard, you know, when Robert Rodriguez called Robert De Niro and said, "Hey, you want to do this?" And Robert loves, you know, kinky characters or quirky characters, and he goes, "Yeah." So once he signed, everybody wanted to get on the movie. It was like, you know, I mean, we had an unbelievable cast in that when you look at it, Steven Seagal had called me a few months before and said, "Hey, is there going to be anything for me in that Machete movie?" And I told Robert Rodriguez about him, about Steven called me. He said, "Yeah, let's kill him." So Robert made him the drug lord, and it worked out really, really well. It was the first time Steven Seagal ever died on film, you know, and I got to kill him. And it was funny because at first it was scripted that I beat him in a sword fight. You know, I mean, I beat him, just win. And I told Robert Rodriguez, "Wait a minute, man, this ain't gonna work." Everybody knows Steven Seagal is a master swords guy. He's like, for real, you know, so. And I'm Mexican, so let's cheat, you know, so we started fighting, and then we got that move where he throws me and then I kill him. It worked out a lot better. I think it just worked a lot better than just a sword fight.
Hi. Have you ever done or been offered to do a romantic part?
Oh, I was in Con Air. That was like romantic. Almost had a love scene with Rachel Tiverton. And then I did a film called Sherry Baby with Maggie Gyllenhaal, where I was like the nice guy. It was all right. It was a good movie, you know, but I didn't get to hit anybody or shoot anybody.
Oh, I have to run over there.
There is a slight trend of young European filmmakers who are making, particularly in Spain and France, excellent horror and slasher movies. Has Europe become, for you, any point of interest in making movies? Because I think most of the movies you have made were eventually produced in the States.
Well, you know what? The world is interesting to me. I would love to come here and make some movies. I've done film in South Africa, in Paris, you know, and I think I'm going to Russia, Prague. So, you know, sure, I'd love to. You know, whatever comes down. I'm an actor, so I'll just work whatever the work is. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, hi. Did you ever thought to make your own movie as a director?
Well, you know what, a director is like a lot of work. I mean, it's like the director is like the captain of the ship. He shows up first, and then he leaves first. And then if it's a dud, it goes on, you know, he's got to go down with the ship. I love working. I love acting. And being a director, it's not, people think, you know, acting is a 2-week, 3-week, 4-week commitment. Directing a movie is like half a year, like 6 months, 7 months, you know, it's 8 months, it's a job. So my hat's off to the directors, because I mean, they're like really worker bees, I mean, really. You know, and they gotta put up with me. So that's
Hello, will Machete Kills and Machete Kills again be made?
You know what, Robert Rodriguez has gotten Machete Kills already written, so we're just waiting for the time, you know. he asked me what I was doing in December. I got a text from him, and I wrote back, machete don't